Hello and welcome to Board with Kids, where we check out different board games to play with your family. Today we're talking about Kingdomino, a game that came out in 2017 and won the Spiel des Jahres award for Game of the Year, generally thought of as one of, if not the most prestigious award for the board and card game industry. In this game, players compete to explore and develop their kingdoms using unique domino-style tiles to earn the most points at the end with their finished kingdom. This game plays in about 20 minutes and recommends players 8 and up, but I've played with my 5-year-old just fine. This is a great game that requires tile placement, light strategy, and a little bit of math during the end scoring. So, to learn more, let's dive right in and see how it's played. Each player begins by choosing a color and placing the 3D castle of that color onto the matching starting tile placed in front of them. Shuffle all the dominoes and place them in the box so that the draw end cannot be seen by any players. For the first round of the game, take 4 dominoes, line them up numerically in ascending order. Once in order, flip them over to see the terrain side. To determine the initial play order, one player takes 1 king meeple of each player color and pulls them out one at a time. Alternatively, you can choose whatever way you want to set the initial play order. Players will take turn to claim their first domino tile by placing their king on the terrain of their choice. After all players have done this, draw 4 more domino tiles, line them up numerically, and then flip them over. That's it for the setup and the initial round. In each subsequent round of the game, players take turns doing 2 simple actions on their turn: kingdom build and domino selection. In kingdom build, the active player takes the domino that their king claimed in the previous round and adds it to their kingdom. The play order for each round is determined by the position of the kings in the line of the selected dominoes. So in this round, pink would go first, then green, then yellow, followed by blue. Pink would take the domino tile and add it to their kingdom, following these simple rules. A domino tile must have at least 1/2 matching the same terrain as the domino it's connecting to. You may place a domino vertically or horizontally as long as at least 2 connecting squares, 1 on each domino, match. The starting tile with the castle on it is wild and can be connected to any terrain. Note that the starting tile does not have to represent the center of your kingdom. The kingdom itself cannot be more than 5 by 5 squares in dimension. Once a domino has been placed, it cannot be moved again. If a player selected or was forced to select a domino that cannot be placed under these rules, that piece is simply discarded during their turn. And that's it for the kingdom build action. Very young kids may need a reminder of some of these rules from time to time, but it should be pretty intuitive to match terrain types. The second action during a player's turn is domino selection. After adding a tile to their kingdom, they take their king and place it on any unclaimed domino in the new column to claim it. Higher numbered dominoes have more special terrains and point scoring crowns, but you can see that claiming those will place you further down in the next turn play order, leaving you with fewer choices following around. And that's all there is to gameplay. Take the tile you claimed, place it in your kingdom, and then claim a new tile for the next round. After all players finish both actions, draw 4 more dominoes, line them up numerically in a column next to the existing one, and then flip them over. Play continues next round in the order of kings, starting at the top of the column. Play continues this way until there are no more dominoes in the draw pile, at which point all players place their final domino into their kingdom, and players then can begin to score their kingdom. Final scoring. Each group of terrain earns points equal to the number of connected squares multiplied by the number of crowns in that group of terrain. The terrain has to be connected directly, diagonally doesn't count, in order to be counted as being in the same group. In this example, this group of 2 field squares contains 2 crowns, so it's worth 4 points. This group of 5 water squares has a total of 3 crowns, so it's worth 15 points. Finally, this group of 3 field squares have 0 crowns on them, so it scores 0 points. Total up your scores for all of your terrain groups to get your final score. Highest score wins. In the event of a tie, the player with the largest single territory of any type wins. If there is still a tie, then you share the victory. There are some minor adjustments for playing with 2 or 3 players, but that's generally how you play Kingdomino. Here are my overall thoughts for the game. I like this game a lot. I played it with my kids when they were 5 and 7, and the rules of play were simple enough to explain that they were able to jump right into play and enjoy it immediately. Scoring was a bit tricky to explain to younger kids, but as long as you tell them that they want to get the same types of terrain and match them, and that crowns are good, generally they can still have a non-meltdown inducing score at the end of the game. I love the colorful tiles and the high quality of the game components. The 3D castles make the table presence of the board look great, and the domino tiles themselves are very thick and strong. I also love that the game can be played, and equally important, can be set up very quickly. My only criticism is that because the dominoes are so large and thick, it's a little difficult to shuffle them when setting up the game, but that's a minor critique. I also like that the box is nice and small, so it's easy to store. This is a fantastic game for families, and I would recommend it for a play with kids 5 and up, and can be enjoyed as a quick game for a family with even older children. It's very deserving of the Game of the Year award and its many other accolades that it's gotten. Overall, I would rate this game an 8 out of 10, a solid recommendation to buy. So that's it for this episode of Bored with Kids. Remember, with all these board games, there's no excuse to be bored with kids. Bye!